This is the Novation FLKey 49, the first MIDI controller built for FL Studio producers that comes in 49 or 61 key versions. Novation already has smaller versions of this keyboard, but the new 49 and 61 key versions add more features, more plug-in control, 9 faders for mixer and channel volumes, and today I'm going to show you all of it. Watch until the end because I'm also going to compare the FLKey 49 and 61 to a few other keyboards to help you decide which is right for you. I'll put links to the best prices for the FLKey in the video description below. First of all, let's get through the basics. This keyboard was made to control FL Studio. Connect it to your computer, load up FL Studio, and the layout of this keyboard will make producing music with FL more hands-on and even more efficient. And unlike most other MIDI keyboard controllers, the FLKey only focuses on FL Studio and doesn't try to cover every other DAW out there. So you have dedicated controls for things like channel rack. I'll get to that later in the video. Now, if you're looking at the 49 or 61 key versions of this keyboard, you're probably upgrading from a smaller keyboard, or at least considering what this might give you over the FLKey Mini or 37 from Novation. And here are the main two differences. First, the additional keys. Of course, it's a lot more comfortable playing with a 49 or 61 key controller, and I think they've done a pretty good job with the keys on this keyboard. And next, it's the faders. The faders give you control of the mixer, channel rack volumes, and more virtual instrument control than the smaller versions of this keyboard. If you're new around here, I'm Sanjay C. I have lots of videos about music production and the latest gear on my channel. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'll be sure to make it worth your while. Let's talk channel rack control. If you have drums loaded, you can play them. Channel rack in FL lets you create beats and sequence anything quickly. Switch the pad to sequence mode, select a sound, and now you can start sequencing your beats. And the FLKey gives you full control of it. Well, the most needed stuff at least. Shift plus the lower pad switches your pad modes. You can use the pads to control the channel rack or to play instruments, or access chords and scale modes. So what about drumming on these pads? I've always liked Novation pads. I think they're responsive with nice sensitivity. They're velocity sensitive, of course. They have more travel than Akai pads, but still feel very comfortable to play. These are some of my favorite pads on budget keyboards. They might be a little small for your taste, so keep that in mind if you prefer larger pads. Oh, and they've included Note Repeat. Note Repeat seems to be a must-have on keyboards these days, and you can adjust the Note Repeat settings with the keys here. Hey, if you're an FL Studio user, you may already have a keyboard that you're using. What are you using right now? Comment below and let me know what you use and what you'd recommend to others. All right, channel rack stuff aside, there's lots more you can do. Since this is a keyboard, let's check out some features that are great to have while you play. You have plug-in control. Very nice plugin control. Load up a plugin in FL, switch the knobs to plugin mode, and you can use the knobs at the top to adjust different parameters. You can also use the faders for plugin control as well. This is new and not available on the smaller versions of the FLKey. This is a whole lot of fun. Of course, you can load up other plugins from third-party manufacturers as well. Oh, and you can switch presets in your plugins with the buttons over here. Now, the keys on the FLKey 49 and 61 feel great. These are semi-weighted keys. Nice feel, very comfortable to play, velocity sensitive, of course. So are these the best keys out there? Well, compared to Akai and Arturia keyboards at this price range, they're pretty much on par. They kind of feel like the Keylab Essential from Arturia or the Native Instruments A series. I'm a pianist and I'm a bit picky with key feel. These are not going to blow you away, but they're pretty good still. Anyway, you've also got pitch and mod wheels on the side. Now, the FLKey does not include a built-in arpeggiator, which these days is pretty standard on MIDI controllers by Akai M Audio, and even Novation's own launch key. It would have been nice to see this considering this keyboard has a MIDI out, so you could have used this to control a hardware synth, for example, and that arpeggiator would have been nice. This is not a deal breaker for me because I'm not going to be using this with a hardware synth, but still thought you should know. Even though you've got plug-in control, there's one feature that falls short on the FLKey. It's the tiny screen. Many keyboard companies are adding small screens on their keyboard, but recently Arturia introduced a larger, more useful screen on their Keylab Essential, which goes beyond the usability of these tiny screens. I have a feeling that we're going to start to see bigger, more useful screens in the future from other companies as well. But for now, you'll need to deal with the tiny screen if you get the FLKey. One great thing about this screen is that it gives you feedback on the parameter that you're adjusting if you're using a plugin, for example. Now, keep in mind that you're going to be using this very close to your computer screen. And from my experience, I look at the computer screen a lot more than these tiny screens on these keyboards. Okay, so great. You can play. What about recording a song? Let's get into the mixer controls, transport controls, and more in just a sec. But before we do, if you're recording music at home or on the go, you should consider releasing it to the world. It's pretty easy to get your music out there with DistroKid, the sponsor of today's video. DistroKid is a service that helps you put your music on Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, Instagram, pretty much everywhere people listen, and they collect earnings for you when people play, stream, or purchase your music. I think people highly underestimate how easy it is to get music out there these days. Now, just because you post a song doesn't mean that you're going to instantly rack in millions of plays, so DistroKid gives you tools to help you get the word out. I like their hyperfollow feature most. It gives you a quick link you can use to share the word on your new release, and people can use that link to quickly follow you. The whole process of uploading songs is pretty simple, and I created a video about it to answer your most popular questions. You can watch that video right here, and if you're ready to sign up, there's a link in the video description that will give you a discount on your first year of DistroKid membership. Okay, before we get to the mixer and transport, I want to cover a couple other features: the scale, chord, and user chord modes. The FLKey comes with built-in chords, which are kind of helpful if you're learning to play keys or if you need some help with music theory. The scale chord mode gives you lots of chords on the pads. You get major, minor, 7th, 9th, all those chords right here. You can page through to find what you like. User chord mode gives you the ability to create your own chord and save them to the pads. So you can access your full chord progression right here. Okay, the FLKey would not be complete without the full mixer controls and the transport controls. Transport controls are easy. You've got play, stop, record, quantize, metronome, undo, redo, and a score log. When it comes to mixer controls, the faders make this so much better than the smaller versions of the FLKey. You've got full control of the mixer, inserts, volume, pan, and you've also got control of channel volume and pan as well. You can also switch between sets of faders with these buttons right here. Below the faders, you've got new buttons that you can use to quickly solo tracks or switch the mode for the faders. Keep in mind that you will find similar mixer and plug-in control on other keyboards from other companies. M Audio's Oxygen Pro is another excellent keyboard that'll give you many of the same features of the FLKey, but not the same channel rack control, which is so useful for FL users. Same with the Arturia Keylab Essential 49 and 61. However, the Arturia Keylab Essential will give you something the FLKey doesn't have: deep virtual instrument control of Arturia's plugins. If you've invested in Arturia software, you should consider an Arturia keyboard. The same goes for Native Instruments software. Their keyboards just work really well with their own software. When it comes to build quality, this keyboard is lightweight and it's up to par with the A series by Native Instruments or Akai keyboards of similar size. The knobs and buttons feel really good, and I love the buttons that don't make a clicky sound. All of these are nice soft buttons. On the back, you've got sustain, USB, and MIDI out ports, which are nice, so you can connect this to a hardware synth if you want. So what are other options when it comes to keyboards for FL Studio? Well, like I mentioned before, you've got the M Audio Oxygen Pro, Arturia makes them, and Nectar as well. And all those give you pretty good standard controls of features in FL Studio, but they won't give you the channel rack control that the FLKey gives you. At this price, there's nothing that gives you this much dedicated control of FL Studio. And as I mentioned before, other keyboards like those by Native Instruments and Arturia will give you more plugin integration and control with their own plugins. The FLKey doesn't really have deep integration with third-party plugins, but as you've seen, it does a really good job of controlling FL's own instruments. So who do I think this keyboard is good for? Well, come on, if you're an FL Studio producer, beatmaker, or songwriter, you're going to love this keyboard. There you go. And if you want to go ahead and get it, I'll put links to the best prices in the video description below. The 49 key version I have right here is $230, and the 61 key is $280. Hey, Novation has some pretty stiff competition, and if you want to check out my comparison of the best budget MIDI keyboards out there, check out my video right here. And don't miss my Saturday Music Year news videos where I bring you the latest from the music production world and discount codes for plugins and freebies every week. Keep making the music you love, and I'll see you next time.